What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. We're gonna talk about Outlaw Rogue today. Um, I have done a video in the past on Outlaw Rogue, and I've talked about the general talent trees. That was kind of the crux of my other video. I did show a little bit of like gameplay footage on the mythic on the dummies, and I did do a little bit of that. But in this video, what I'm going to show you is a particular build that I think will work very well in Mythic Plus, and it's a different set of talents than I've run previously. So I'm going to show you this build and all the different talents and the interactions that I think are important to understand, and then I'm going to show you some gameplay footage, and it is a little bit different, as I said, than the previous build. So one thing I just want to talk about, first of all, in the class tree and the spec tree, is the amount of speed that you can pick up as an Outlaw Rogue. So you get 15% movement speed here. You get 15% movement speed here, so you're at 30. And then when you have stealth on, you have 20%. I'm 50% faster right now. Look at how fast I'm moving around. And then you can like shadow step and move even quicker. I only have one charge of shadow step, but I have all these things and I don't even have grappling hook. And I do think that this can be enough mobility for you, having 50% movement speed in stealth plus shadow step to get around. I don't think you have to take grappling hook. So that's one first thing, because it takes away from your throughput. It really does. You know, instead I'm picking up 10% stamina, which I think is more valuable. You could potentially swap these two around depending on the fight, but you know, I could take main gauge damage, yada yada yada. But the point is, your mobility is quite strong as an Outlaw Rogue. You're very fast, which is really good. So, what's this build? What's the build outline? I'm going to talk about it right now. And then I'll show you on the dummies in a minute. So in my previous builds, I've been going far on the right-hand side of the tree every single time, because you're picking up all your Blade Flurry buffs over here, Dancing Steel in particular, and Precise Cuts, which is very, very cool. Blade Flurry damage goes up when you have less targets than what your maximum is. And if you've been living under a rock, Outlaw Rogue now can get up to 8 target cleave. So Blade Flurry now, because of Dancing Steel, you get 3 extra targets, and the duration lasts longer. So you strike up to 8 nearby enemies, and then it causes all of your attacks to strike 7 additional targets, so 8 in total for 50% of the normal damage. So Blade Flurry now has an 8-target cap instead of it used to be like a 5-target cap, which was really, really rough. We've got 3 additional targets now. It means their AoE is much more significant than it used to be, much more potent, because most of the packs, let's be real, most of the packs that you're pulling in Mythic Plus are going to be around the 8 to 10 mark if your tank is sort of doing a really good job. So this brings Outlaw Rogue into the fold in a much better way. It doesn't alienate them as being like this class that just doesn't have uncapped AoE and doesn't have an ability to really compete with some of the other specs like Windwalker Monk, let's say. So, no, down you get. Good girl. Get down. So the first part is you're going to go down the right side of the tree, get all the Blade Flurry stuff, and you really should pick up Dreadblades. I actually experimented with Killing Spree, and it is insane now in a Blade Flurry window. I'm going to try and do another video with Killing Spree, because it's obviously traditionally been a very terrible ability, but I think that it might actually have some legs if you do it correctly with a big pack size with Blade Flurry up. I had like a combo where I would run in, pop Blade Flurry, get full combo points, hit between the eyes for the extra crit, and then pop Killing Spree. And I was getting like 80, 90k just with that. And then I was able to continue the rotation afterwards. So, but Dreadblades is significantly better for the build that we're running right now, which is going to be the Dispatcher build. So traditionally, I had gone down the left side of the tree and picked up Blade Rush and stopped right there and picked up like some extra ambush damage, which I still think is valuable. But I really wanted to try going down the center of the tree, getting improved Adrenaline Rush, and getting Dispatch. I'm not getting Keep It Rolling, which I know people are going to be probably flaming me for this, but this is something that I will learn to incorporate into my build probably later. But for now, it's not something that I need to pick up, and it's not necessarily that significant. It basically, I need to get some like weak auras that track which buffs I have rolling so I know when I really do want to press this button. Because sometimes I've had buffs rolling and I'm like, I only have 2 buffs rolling. Should I press this? And it's like, in reality, you should. But anyway, I'll talk about it in another video. So the main thing is you're going to get Blade Flurry damage on the right-hand side. And you're going to end with Greenskin Whiskers and Fan the Hammer, which is really, really good. This is the Pistol Shot Legendary from Shadowlands, reimagined, essentially. And then you're going to get Summarily Dispatch. And this doesn't look like it should be good, but it is very good. Basically, what it says is that when Dispatch consumes 5 or more combo points, which you will always have it be consuming 5, basically, it deals 5% more damage and costs 5 less energy for 15 seconds. Okay? You can get to 5 stacks. This is like Mongoose Bite for Survival Hunter, where as soon as you start this window, you have 15 seconds to get as high as you can, and then to use Dispatch at the highest max 5 stacks as much as you can. It's exactly like Mongoose Bite for Survival Hunter. Okay? What it means is you get to 5 stacks, Dispatch does 25% more damage and costs 25 less energy. It only costs 32 energy right now. So that goes down to like 7 or 8 energy total. Dispatch only costs 8 energy. Wait, no, it's like, yeah, it's like 8 energy. So maybe 7. My math's wrong there. But the point is it's very, very cheap and it does way more damage. And you're going to notice in the dungeon footage, you're going to notice that the damage really, really spikes. So when you have... Oh, so sorry about that. Somebody just subbed on Twitch. What the big combo that you're going to pull off here is you're going to press Blade Flurry, you're going to pop Dread Blades, and then you're going to go Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch. You're going to get the Dispatch buff rolling because every time you press Sinister Strike, it fills your combo points. So you get a big 6-point finisher. I have 6 combo points. You get a 6-point finisher with Dispatch, and it starts building up the Dispatcher buff, which is very, very significant. So it'll look something like this. I do want to show you really quickly the dungeon damage that we did overall was 42k over the entire dungeon, which was pretty good, not going to lie. It's not the best that we've seen. I've seen, people do 50k overall in dungeon, but 42.2 is I'm very happy with the damage that Outlaw Rogue is pumping out. So, let me show you, let me just get Glacial on so that it's kind of all fair. Let me show you exactly how this looks. I do want to mention too that this was an heroic dungeon. It doesn't scale your item level. And I didn't have any special trinkets. I just have regular weapons on, so just keep all that in mind. So, the build's going to start out. We're just going to do this. We're going to go like ambush into Blade Flurry, okay? Then we're going to go here. Then we're going to go this. There, we're doing Dispatch, okay? I'll do one between the eyes for the crit. We're just doing Dispatch. Sinister Strike, Dispatch. Sinister Strike, Dispatch. Sinister Strike, Dispatch. Blade Flurry. Dispatch. Sinister Strike. There, we're out of the Dread Blades combo now, which is fine, but you can see how good the damage is. We're only on 4 targets. Now we have to manage it a little bit more. Dreadblades is back, so I'm going to go this into this, and we're going to go Dreadblades. And we're going to press Sinister Strike, Dispatch. Whoops, I shouldn't have pressed that, but Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch. You're just going to keep that going. And it works very, very well, and the damage is good. This is good damage for only 4 targets. So it's very simple to execute, but the idea is very, very cool because you get this little mini kind of buff that's rolling. And there, Dreadblades is back. There we go. Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch. We just keep doing it, and you'll see the damage kind of climb there while we're doing that. So it's sort of deceptively strong, and you'll see in the dungeon that I'm doing, we have a couple pulls where the damage gets really outrageous. I really did like Blade Rush. I liked the idea of Blade Rush, and I still think it's a strong cooldown. I just found that with this build, with the Dispatcher build, it's a little bit simpler to execute, and you get more single target damage because you can start building up the Dispatch buff on a single target. Blade Rush does bad damage on a single target, but this Dispatcher buff doesn't. It helps your single target damage go even higher. So I think it's a little bit more versatile in terms of how that kind of works. So that's the gameplay footage there. We're gonna jump over to the Twitch VOD that I've got here of the dungeon. Let me just get her going, and I'll show you the dungeon here that we did. This was Algathar Academy once again. Turn this up a little bit. This is the kind of opening packs here. Again, I wasn't doing the build, perfectly well. Our item level is not scaled. I don't have any fancy trinkets. I don't have any enchants on my gear. I have nothing. This is sort of bare bones, which, again, I always want to do my videos just to try to give you guys a bare bones experience of what this is going to feel like when you have decent gear, but you don't have like
didn't do as much as I thought it was gonna
kind of fully decked out gear. So again, yeah, on that pack I thought I was going to do a little bit more damage. It didn't end up doing as much as I sort of hoped for, but that's okay. We're back into it now. Dreadblades is basically just up for every single pull, which is really cool. It's it's just awesome that it works that way.
You basically get Dreadblades on like every pack if you're playing it right.
So we're up to 60k there on a sort of a small pack there. So very good damage. Here's a bigger pack. I think I get slept here, which is really unfortunate, and I kind of freak out about it because this is the perfect pack.
Oh, I'm asleep.
So there, I'm yelling and screaming, but I'm gonna skip past actually the first boss because I don't do a ton of damage
the dispatcher
here.
thing's even better.
I just kind of fumbled that boss fight. Not gonna lie, but our damage on every single pack, as I've said in the past for Outlaw, Rogue, and Shadowlands, your damage is going to be good on every single pack. It just can get there. You're able to do it on every single pack. You don't have like big cooldowns that you're relying on, like a Blade Storm or even something as small as like Fist of Fury for Monk. But, you know, Storm, Earth, and Fire, Serenity, you're not waiting on those big cooldowns. Celestial Alignment for Boomkin, Berserk for Feral Druid. You don't have to rely on those massive cooldowns. You get to use these, you know, Adrenaline Rush is a long cooldown, but of course with Restless Blades, you're cooling it down all the time. So you just get to go on every single pack and do lots of damage. Here's an example of where I execute properly on a big pack. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 enemies in it. Watch our damage here. 57, 68. We're doing the Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch. 80k, 84, 87, 91, 95. We crest just over 100k here. 101k.
We got over
So,
100k.
Right at the very end. Again, these are heroic level mobs.
There you go.
I think if these mobs had
That
lasted
actually
longer,
works quite well there. That's really good to see. I finally got over 100k.
we got to the 100k club. If those mobs had lasted longer, we would have done more damage. That's just the
What are
bottom
these
line.
birds doing here? 100k
Then you-
club, right? We
Watch the burst that comes out here just from this small
Hit it.
pack when it
It's
lands.
huge.
I hit Blade Flurry right here. Boom. You know, we get to 50k right there, just right out of nowhere. You just 60k, just boom. We're just slapping.
Even
Again,
that
the-
was good damage. Imagine if these mobs lasted a little bit longer. That's the one thing about Outlaw Rogue is that they can always keep doing damage, basically. But the mobs have more health, and
Pazuko, we heard it. Pazuko's getting his. He needs to shut up. Okay, so again, bam, here we go. We're doing almost 70k just on this pack here. 65k here. I think we settles down later once the mobs go away. But it's just every pack you get to do tons of damage, which is really cool.
Brain, you're in stealth. It's insane how much speed I have.
Yeah, 50% speed is wild. So here you go. Here's the big boss fight. We're gonna go Dreadblades, and we're just gonna give her. We got Anima Charge combo points. Our damage is pretty good off the cuff. I still need to work on single target damage, getting it up there, but I do think that this Dispatcher build does lend itself to a more powerful single target damage output versus taking something like Blade Rush, which you almost don't even want to press in a single target scenario. And fair enough, maybe you just don't press Blade Rush, but then that feels kind of like it's a bit of a wasted talent. So I do feel like there's more versatility with this Dispatcher combo because you're able to get that single target damage as well. So we settle in at about 25k here, I think, by the end, which is actually fine for single target damage, I think, in my opinion. I think that's actually fine right now. So here's another really big pull. This is sort of the classic Algathar Academy pull at this point. I say classic because a bunch of us have already been doing this. But again, we spike up to 70k here. I think I almost get to 100. 83, 87. We get up to 90. I don't quite get to 100. So a little bit sad there. But again, you can see the potential. You can see the potential right there. Here's the next pack. Oh, I do spike here. So watch the next pack here. The tank, I believe, pulls in these sort of mosquito things. Then I Blade Flurry here. 90k, 100k. Look at how much damage. We're just boom. We're just doing 100k. We actually spiked at 120k right there. That's crazy. So we're keeping it basically at 100k, and then I get disoriented here like an absolute goon. Oh, no, not yet. I guess that's later. But we crested over. We got to 120k at one point there. So you can see the damage potential is there. It's really good. I think it's quite strong. You just have to execute properly. I was an idiot right there, but you just execute properly, and you will be able to do damage.
It's never really meant to be a spec that can do like uncapped AoE, but they've buffed the AoE so much now.
Yeah. Here's the Overgrown Ancient. Once again, our single target damage is okay.
Dispatch.
But any
Sinister Strike. Dispatch.
There's the combo.
Sinister Strike. Dispatch. Sinister Strike.
So we're doing okay single target. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, now we're gonna Blade.
But really, the power of this build, I think, is any boss fight that has more than one target, you're gonna be strong.
Oh
so
god, this is gonna be awesome.
We get Blade Flurry damage going here, and we end up spiking a little bit harder, which is great. Boom. Mark for death. Boom. Adrenaline rushes back. Here we go. Boom. You just got to keep saying boom, and things get better. We got to kick this guy so he doesn't heal the boss, etc., etc. So then we get to the next phase where we get more AoE damage. It's just free, right? We're able to tunnel.
Yeah, that boss will be pretty good on for us. That'll be a really good boss for us on higher like Mythic Plus.
Fortified and stuff. Or we're able to tunnel the boss and use the ad sort of a leverage. So here's a moment here where I really want to highlight the Dispatcher combo. So I don't currently have the Dispatcher buff right now, and you're going to watch me start to build it there. I have one stack of it up in the top here. You can see the Dispatch icon. So this is the Mongoose Bite window. I've opened a 15-second window. You don't get to make the window any longer or nothing, just resets. You have to use this window of time right now. So I'm doing about 43K right now. I'm going to just keep pressing Sinister Strike, Dispatch, Sinister Strike, Dispatch to get it going. And yeah, we get to 50K, 57, 59, 60, back to 55, 61, back up to 60 again. You can see, like, it just amps the damage, and the buff finally fell off right now. But, when at the tail end of the buff, when you have about 5 seconds left on the Dispatcher buff, every Dispatch is doing 25% more damage.
Really strong,
everything's doing 25% more damage, every Dispatch, which is really, really awesome. That is the last thing I'll talk about is on the class side of the tree, I did end up taking Seal Fate, which I think is actually very, very good for Outlaw Rogue. It makes your critical strikes add an additional combo point, and it's good for Outlaw Rogue because you get Between the Eyes, which gives you 20% crit at all times, basically. So that's really strong. And then underneath that, you get Thistle Tea. You get 3 charges of Thistle Tea, gives you 100 energy back each time. I think it's actually very underrated, and I think it's very, very strong, and I enjoyed using it. So you might not need to use it later in the expansion when your stats get higher and you get a little bit better at playing the spec. But I do think that Thistle Tea is very, very strong. So let's talk about the build really quick. I'll summarize it all. You're basically pressing Blade Flurry, of course, and then you're pressing Sinister Strike into Dispatch or, your Pistol Shot into Dispatch. You're doing that because you're getting the Dispatcher buff going, and in a Mythic Plus, in an AoE situation, that's all converting into Blade Flurry damage. It's going to be monstrous. When you combine it with Dread Blades, you can just keep filling your combo points and then dispatching and get the buff rolling very, very quickly, and it feels very satisfying to play, and I think it does a lot of damage. So let me know what you guys think about Outlaw Rogue in Mythic Plus. Keep in mind all the little stipulations I said about this video, that this is heroic, the item level's not scaled, I'm not using trinkets, I don't have, max level gear or anything. So keep it all in mind when you're sort of evaluating this. But I do just want to say that it feels very good to play. It is a fun build to play, and I think it does enough damage to get us over the line. I think it's a good build for Outlaw Rogue. So if you're looking to take Outlaw Rogue into Dragonflight, this might be a Mythic Plus build for you to look at. So let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.